Alright everybody, good morning. I'm Aaron Heiser, Maker's Leather Supply, and today we're going to continue making the leather fanny pack, the Toolable leather fanny pack. Today is going to be all about coloring. So this video, part of it will take place here, part of it in the warehouse, part of it back here, because we're going to mask off what we don't want airbrushed, then we're going to airbrush, then we're going to resist, then we're going to antique after the resist dries really well. So, without further ado, pull the camera down a little bit, zoom it in a little bit maybe, and I'll show you how I do this, okay? Now, I've already done the lid masking just to show the before and after, I guess you can say. So what I have here is this badass masking tape that they don't make anymore. When I found out they didn't make it anymore, I bought every dang roll I could find online. I sold a lot of it through our store. But I have about 10 rolls left. Hopefully that lasts me the rest of my life. Anyway, I know there's other masking tapes out there that can do what this one does, but I haven't found them yet, so I don't know a name to replace it with. But this one is called Fine Line, and it's made by a company called IPG. So if you happen across a roll, if you want to use it, you might want to pick it up because it's a rarity nowadays. Aaron bought them all. Alright, so what I did is I covered my tooled area with masking tape, and then I took a scalpel and carefully cut out the outline and pulled the rest of the masking tape off. After I airbrush, I will remove the rest of the tape, okay? So just real quick, just as a sample, I'll show you a little bit of that process, but it is very straightforward, and it's exactly as I said. There's no tips or tricks to it. The only tip or trick I can tell you about it is when you're doing the taping, you of course have to overlap each layer of tape, but you don't want to overlap it too much, just because it's a lot harder to cut through 2 layers gracefully than it is 1. I am using a scalpel. I did put a fresh blade in it, and it does make it a lot easier to cut with a scalpel or something with a very, 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 very sharp surgical type blade. Okay, so there I overlapped about 1/8 of an inch, and that's honestly more than I normally would overlap. A lot of the time I barely want them to overlap at all, but I'm trying to keep the view where the camera can see it and not me. Always a challenge. So, here we go. I've got my layers on here and I want to press it down really good. The reason that I love this tape is it's thin. You can see the tooling through it, and that really helps. Now I have used blue painter's tape for this, and you just have to really rub down on all your edges and stuff, and then you can kind of see, but you can't physically see the leather. You can only see the outlines of everything in the tape, okay? So that's why I like this, and then the other reason I like it is when you pull it off, it doesn't leave a residue on the leather, and it doesn't pull up the surface of the leather. So very, very good qualities in this tape to have. I'm going to end up doing this to this piece. I already did it to the lid, of course, and I'm going to do it to this entire belt. So I'll be sitting here and taping for most of the day. But I won't make you watch all that. So, real simple, like I said, I'm just going to take a scalpel and I'm going to cut right along the edge of my tooling there, and once I get all the way around it, then I will go ahead and peel off the excess. Okay, so again, nothing to it. There's no big secret about it. Just have to be careful while you do it. Okay, yeah, that's it. So when I come back, we will be ready to airbrush because I'll have all this done. Who knows what time of day that might be? It might be in 45 minutes. It might be tomorrow. Who knows? That's how it rolls here. Alright, so we got it all taped up. We got it all cut out and everything. Here I am. I'm out here in the warehouse. I put a whole piece of cardboard down so that, you know, I don't ruin our nice cutting table. So now it's time to airbrush. If you've watched any of my videos about airbrushing, which I mean there's only like 2 I think, then this is going to be pretty boring for you. I have oxblood dye in the hopper here, okay, and I'm just gonna go and airbrush. It's gonna take a few coats because in the airbrush, oxblood doesn't do it's not very dark, so it looks almost kind of pinkish. But that's going to be okay too, because by the time I'm done with my antiquing and everything, it's going to look pretty bad all that being said, I've got some dark brown out here, so we're going to do some fanciness using that too. So since I masked all this off, I don't have to worry about my tooling area because I'm pretty confident in my masking. Okay, so I'm going to let that set up for a minute, and I'll move on to this next piece here. But anyway, I'm just going to thoroughly coat each of these with the oxblood, and when we come back, I'm going to use some dark brown and hit up some highlights on it, and turn the tone down just a little bit from this almost bright red color, but not quite. So we'll be back. All right, so we got everything nice and oxbloody, for lack of a better word. I did have a drip. I was very careless with my airbrush, and I got a drip right there by my name badge. So what I'm probably going to do is hit it up with the dark brown right around that as well. Well, I may make things worse, who knows. So I have put dark brown in here now, and what we're going to do is just kind of hit up the edges of this stuff and give it kind of a antique-y look. Just bring the tone down a little bit, okay? Generally when I do this, I do the side that's away from me, and I try to hit it with about half of the spray of the brush. I do need to run some of the, I just poured the brown in on top of the oxblood, so I need to run some of the oxblood out there. And I've got me a paper towel here to hopefully catch any other drips. This is what happens when I don't clean my airbrush very often, is it'll get gunked up and it'll cause it to have a drip run out of it once in a while. If I cleaned it properly between each use, then that wouldn't happen, but I'm lazy and I don't clean it properly between each use. Now, here's the funniest part of what I'm saying right now is Doc's standing right over here behind the camera. This is actually his airbrush, and he thinks I'm talking trash. But no, I also don't clean my airbrush, so I'm not. So
I got you.
Anyway, so here we go. I start out over here on the edge, get a good flow going, and I just walk right across it. And I'm going to go nice and slow because I only want to do it once. Yeah. But I'm going to do it twice. I thought I only wanted to do it once. Let me get some more flow going here. I think we've got a suction problem too, because also if you don't clean it, the little air vent in the top of this doesn't clean out well. So yeah, so I'm just going to be real brave and take the cap off. Hang on here, I'm just making some adjustments. All right. I'm going to try that again. And I got to be careful, if I lean the airbrush too much, I'm going to spill it right out the top. We don't want that. Okay, and again, I'm just going along the edges, giving it a light once over. You can kind of see it. Let me get it closer here. You can kind of see it, and then also that combined with the dark brown antique I'm going to do is really going to help set this off. Now this is a fold line right here, so I'm actually going to airbrush it too. So let me go ahead and hit that up. This side. If you notice, this thing is spitting out drops, so I'm always starting it off of the project and then bringing it over to the project. Okay, and that'll help you to keep from happening what happened to me there. All right, I think that piece is going to be good, so we're going to move on to the next piece. Okay, but I'm going to do all the pieces just like that, even the belt. And there's not really a reason to make you watch me do it, so we will pause the camera. I'll keep working on it. Next thing we're going to do is put some sealant on here for our antiquing. Alright folks, we are back in the shop again. Okay, so here's what we're ending up with right here. And I'm going to remove the tape and show you that my leather is unscathed. I'm just carefully with a, you can use a scratch awl or something like that. I happen to be using a scalpel because it's what was sitting right here. But I just carefully need to peel up a little bit of it so that I can give it a pull. And generally I use Pro Resist when I am going to antique something, but I know my good friend Don Gonzalez uses tan coat, and I've never played with that stuff. So even though I'm not much on experimenting on something that I took a while to tool, I'm just going to experiment with it, because if Don does it, it can't be wrong, right? But anyway, there's what we're looking at. Look how nice that kept everything. I got my airbrushing right up to the edges of the tooling and stuff, so it looks great. So yeah, I'm going to remove the tape off of all these pieces, and then I'm going to apply some tan coat. See, there it is. I'm going to use a scrap of shearling to do it. I think with the viscosity of this, it's kind of a thicker liquid. With the viscosity of it, I think a piece of shearling will work best. I did take my scissors and give the shearling a little bit of a haircut, and then I rubbed on it quite a bit to get any of the excess hair and stuff off of it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to let it dry for a few hours, and then we'll do a little bit of antiquing. Alright, good morning everybody. It is a new day. We let the tan coat dry overnight, and today we're going to go from this to this. Ain't that cool? Alright, so this is the fun part, because honestly, like, it just transforms in front of you. And it goes from, that's okay, to dang! So I really enjoy doing antique because of that process, okay? Now, super easy to do. I have my this is my dark brown antique finish from Phoebing's. It's just the paste. I have a scrap of shearling, and I've got some paper towels. Now, I will tell you this will darken the overall appearance of all the leather, not just the tooling. So I'm going to put it everywhere, not just the tooling. That way everything is toned down a little bit, because like I said, this is kind of a bright color for me, but I did it on purpose because I wanted to tone it down with the antique anyway. So we get a really nice healthy glop of this crap on our shearling, and we rub it in, circles one way, circles the other way, because it needs to get everywhere, okay? And we just rub it in, and rub it in, and rub it in, everywhere. Okay, I don't know if I said that yet, but everywhere. So here we go, and then the magic happens. We wipe it back off, and it looks amazing. Look at that transformation. It's like we're real leather workers now. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of continue wiping it off until all the excess is gone, and there's no streaks or anything like that to worry about. Okay. So it will take a few paper towels. I don't like to be wasteful, but that's how it is. So yeah, and that's gonna be pretty dang cool. Okay, and then also be careful that, you know, like anywhere I'm sticking my hand's covered in this crap. So I'm sorry, this beautiful antique finish. So I got to be careful that anywhere else I put my hand, I need to wipe off, because it's going to leave a mark. Alright, so this piece is done. I already did the lid, obviously. I'm going to do these little straps because, like I said, they're going to make everything match better. So yeah, and then I'm going to do the belt, but I'm going to do it the exact same way as all these, so not really a reason to make you watch me do it. Alright, so yeah. When we come back, it'll be time to put this thing together.